Alright, so this is my 2016 September Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile.
That man listed a year.
Started off, we got 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. The best card in my deck, because bringing him out, a lot of people can't deal with 3,000 attack that fast on the board. So they have to activate traps or something to stop this right away, because I bring him out pretty fast in this deck. We got the MVP of my deck, Sage with the Eyes of Blue. This guy, literally, I can discard him, target any effect monster, send it to the grave, special summon a Blue Eyes from my deck, and in this case he combos off with another Blue Eyes of mine, which banishes a back row. So this is really good. Also, this combos off with a card I have with Maiden. So this combo off with Maiden, which is I target Maiden, I send Maiden to the grave, Maiden effect activates, sends herself to the activates because she's targeted, and special summons Blue Eyes. I can special summon 2 Blue Eyes with just using these 2 cards turn 1, then go into XZs or Synchros or whatever I want to do. So that's Sage. Another really good card of mine, Dragon Spirit of the White. So I bring this card out. This is the card I was talking about, the other Blue Eyes. Banishes the back row. This is really good against pendulums too. Can banish the pendulum scale, so they're screwed next turn unless they fix the scale. But also his second effect, which he could tribute himself at any time, special summon the Blue Eyes from my hand, which is really helpful when somebody's trying to attack over it, which they will because it's only 25. I got the most important card in my deck, the 3 White Stones of the Ancient. These stones itself, if this is sent to the grave at the end phase, I can special summon the Blue Eyes from my deck. But also this helps me late game if I can which I can just banish it from the graveyard and add a Blue Eyes to my hand and use trade in to draw 2 cards, or add a Blue Eyes to my hand to summon alternative dragon. So either I'm drawing 2 or I'm summoning a 3,000 beater, which can destroy things. So either way, it's good. Next we got alternative dragon, of course, running 3. Alternative dragon pops any card on the field, can't attack after it, but that's okay. So what I would use is I have alternative and another level 8 monster. I would use alternative's effect, destroy a card on the field, overlay the 2 level 8s, go into my XZs, which I will go over later, and keep popping cards on the field and building higher attack monsters. And the 2, of course, main Eyes of Blue, as explained. When she's targeted, special summon the Blue Eyes. Now, why Maiden is so good is because if I have her in my hand and I don't draw into anything to special summon Blue Eyes, or I'm just stuck for a little bit, if I summon her out on the field, they have to deal with this card. Doesn't matter what they do. Most of the times now in Yu-Gi-Oh, they're targeting, unless they use Dark Hole, unless they're running her over with Utopia Lightning, which would really suck. That's the only way they're going to get rid of this, or Raigeki, or other cards that blow up the whole field without targeting. But they have to deal with this, so they have to use extra resources to deal with 1 card. So even if targets a destroyer brings out a Blue Eyes, she might go to the grave, but still got a 3,000 beater on the field. The rest of my monsters, I have, of course, 2 Maxis for draw power. This is very important against, you know, the meta decks nowadays, which is like Yang Zings, which they special summon for days. So literally off of this 1 card, I can get extra 6 cards in my hand, guaranteed that turn, or against anything Synchro. We got the White Stone of Legend. I only run 1. 1 is needed though. because he's a tuner, so I could sync with him for spirit, but at the same time he has the blue eyes to my hand, so if I have alternative already, It's an instant alternative on the field. I got one Effect Veiler. Now Effect Veiler's so good because I can use Effect Veiler stopping my opponent for a little bit, but at the same time, in this deck I can recycle Effect Veiler by summoning Sage. Sage searches out a card in my deck, a level 1 tuner. So I can, sorry, not level 1, sorry, not Sage. Let me show you which card. This card, Master with the Eyes of Blue. So when I summon him, he adds a level 1 light tuner from my graveyard to my hand, so I can pretty much recycle Effect Veilers and keep using it. So that's really good. That's the reason I would run Effect Veiler. Now, Master with the Eyes of Blue, his effect, not only can he I can get Effect Veilers, I can get stones. So I can get a stone from my graveyard, and with stone, once that's sent to, I could just use it up, send it to the grave, either it gets attacked or I discard it or whatever, and then special summon a Blue Eyes at the end phase. So that's really good. Another reason why I like Master with the Eyes of Blue, I mean, I don't see too many people running him now in Blue Eyes, but the fact is, if I have anything out on the field, any effect monster, which most of my cards are effect monsters, I can, and this guy's in the graveyard, I can recycle him back into my deck, target the effect monster, send it to the graveyard, special summon the Blue Eyes from my grave, which is important late game. Next I have 2 cards from the Felgrand structure deck. I got Arcbrave Dragon. Now, this is kind of situational for me, but pendulum monsters now, we used to worry about them when Pepe was at full power, but now we got Yang Zing Metaphors, another top tier deck that you got to worry about. Now Arcbrave Dragon, he banishes when he's sent to the grave. When he's special summon, he banishes all face-up magic and trap cards. So he banishes their scales, so that's really good. And at the same time, if I send him to the grave for some reason, he could special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon type monster. So I could special summon the next card I'm about to show you, which is the Felgrand Dragon, Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. So when he special summon, he could banish a card from either a monster from their side of the field or a graveyard, gains its stars as an attack. So he raises his attack and banishes the card, which is really good. So I could take care of something I can't attack over, like Utopic Future, which is a big problem for me, or some type of, I don't know, some type of Dark Paladin I can't get over. So really good cards to have in the deck, good text, and also because Felgrand's level 8, so he complements the deck perfectly. Next I'm going to go into my spell lineup, running 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. Have to run 3 until this card gets banned. I hope it doesn't, or limited. This is literally the best spell card in my deck. Brings a level 7 or 8 dragon type monster from my grave, pretty much our monster reborn in the deck, and then an extra layer of protection. I can just banish it at any time as an extra layer of protection, and by ruling I read, it doesn't even have to, its effect doesn't activate in the grave, so it's not something that they can negate. So love this card. Then we got, of course, triple trade in. Triple trade in, you know, discard a level 8 monster, draw 2 cards. Gotta have this for Blue Eyes. We got Mausoleum of the White. Mausoleum's really good because I can take Mausoleum and target Maiden, and when I target Maiden, she can bring out a Blue Eyes, and at the same time I'm throwing up Blue Eyes in my grave to have there ready. So I love Mausoleum, and also double summons for level 1 tuners, which is really good, which helps me go into a lot of my extra deck plays. We got also 2 Dragon Shrines. Dragon Shrines, if I open with this card, pretty much automatically I'm having either a blue eyes by the end phase or something, because I'm sending two monsters to my grave. One's normal, which would be the Dragon Spirit of the White. He counts as a normal, so I'll send him to the grave, and I also send a stone to the grave. And when I do that, I'm guaranteed a blue eyes at the end phase. So it kind of sets up your graveyard nicely. Gotta run 2. I got a Silver's Cry, just an additional monster born in my deck. It is for normal monsters, but I run about 5 normal monsters in my deck, so that's really good. Soul Charge. I have Soul Charge in my hand. I'm pretty much winning this game. Soul Charge, my graveyard's full. I'm winning this game. I'm bringing everything back, sinking, XYZ. An opponent usually can't handle that type of pressure.
Can't win if this is out.
Get that shit out of there. Alright. Terraforming. You get Mausoleum. And Twin Twister to get rid of... Bring that card back.
No, you get fast.
Light Imprisoning Mirror. Skill Drain. Anything they try to throw at me.
He only has one.
That's that bullshit. Get that out. Now we'll go into my traps. 2 Call the Haunted. Gotta have Call the Haunted. Brings back Spirit Dragon of the White. Banishes their card. So it's really good. Even if they negate Call the Haunted, his effect still goes off. Got Vanity. Set up my board. Throw down Vanity, and that's pretty much game.
MST!
They can't special summon unless they have MST or something to deal with this. They still using resources. Skill Drain. Skill Drain. This card, it's I can mess myself up really hard with this card, or I can mess my opponent up really hard.
Go home and cry.
If I have this set up on my board, I have my board set up with big beaters, and I throw down Skill Drain. Usually there's no way for them to come back because they're usually working their way up into big monsters. They can't special summon big monsters like me that fast. So Skill Drain is really good.
He's a liar.
Now going to the extra deck. We got the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, best card of this deck. Specials. He destroys pendulums, destroys Burning Abyss completely. Why? Can't special summon more than 2 cards at the same time, so you can only special summon 1, pretty much. So can't pendulum summon right. Can negate a graveyard effect once per turn. And he contributed himself out at any time, which is beautiful. Now, things he contribute out to. He tributes out into Michael. I could tribute out to Michael, banish any problem in my way. And him with a level 1 tuner, I go straight into Crystal Wing Synchro. I bring this card out, it's pretty much game unless they got a lot of stuff to deal with it. They have to waste a lot of resources dealing with this card. Negates any monster effect on the field or the graveyard, gains its attack. And also if they battle it, I can gain that monster's attack. So he can pretty much run over anything and negates effects. That's a pretty big deal nowadays. Can go into Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. So if I have him out, they bring something on their turn, I'm tributing him, going into Black Rose and bouncing the card they just put out there back into their extra deck. That just shuts down their play, and since it's my turn, I'm gonna start bringing out big stuff. So that's really good, game changer. Stardust Spark Dragon. I don't really go into him too much, but he's good because he can protect himself from Spirit's effect, because you can't tribute Spirit to special summon a level 7 Light Dragon type Synchro monster, but the thing is, it is destroyed during the end phase. I can use his effect to save himself, which is really good. So that's why I run one of him. And Azure Eyes, which is really good protection. I can tribute off Spirit into Azure Eyes at any point. My opponent now has to deal, he can't target my dragons till the end of my turn. And on top of that, he's 3,000 defense, and since it's his turn, I'm doing this on, when it's my turn, my standby phase, I can bring back a normal monster from my graveyard, which is usually Blue Eyes or Spirit Dragon, which will banish a back row. Really good card. Now going into my XZs. XZ, I run 2 XZ combos. So the first one is, I'm running Tachyon, overlay 2 level 8s, Tachyon's really good. Negates their effects, which is really big deal. And when their effects resolve, he gains 1,000 attack and can attack again, which is really good. Go into Tachyon. From Tachyon, go into Full Armor Photon. Photon, discard a card, pop a card on the field, really good. 4,000 attack. And I have him. I can also overlay into Dark Matter. Dark Matter's big combo in my deck. Send 3 monsters from my deck to my grave. I'll send stuff like Arc Brave and Felgrand to my deck, to my graveyard. They combo off since he's sent to the graveyard. During my standby phase, Felgrand will come out. So I have just dragons just popping out of nowhere with this card. Also, I'm sending stones, so Blue Eyes is coming out. And also, since these cards are dragons, I can protect them with Return of the Dragon Lords, which is really a big deal. So that's one of the combos. Of course, I run number 38, Hope. Why I'm running Hope now is because I have to deal with stupid Dark Magician, things that they do, because all the spell cards that people use nowadays, Hope I can detach one.
This man is salty.
Card. I am salty, I don't like Dark Magician. But we are rivals, so. Negate spell cards, really good. Now, this other combo, which is really powerful, we got Lancelot. Lancelot's not an expensive card, but he is really good to lock them down if I already have Hope on the field. So Hope can't use spell cards, I'll detach one. And Lancelot, he can pretty much, if anybody activates anything, a monster, trap, or card effect, he can detach one to negate it. So I have to be careful he can negate my own stuff, but if I have this out and I'm not doing anything, it's my opponent's turn, it really hurts him. And also I can attack directly with him, so this can end the game if he has low life points. And if I do damage directly, I can destroy a monster on his field, which is really good. So I go into him. I also go into Pain Gainer. Pain Gainer is really good because he gains 200 times the amount of ranks on the field. And so his defense usually becomes 2,200. Any monster on my opponent's side of the field with less attack than that can get destroyed by detaching one. So that's really good. So I'll go into Pain Gainer, go straight into 7 Sins. 7 Sins, not a lot of people can deal with this card. 7 Sins, I can detach a material, and this is not once per turn to save himself from card effects or attacks by monsters. Also, if it's my turn and you let him sit out there for on the field, I can detach 2 to banish all monsters, all special summon monsters on my opponent's side of the field, which is insane. So it's a really hard card to deal with, and also I can bring him out pretty easily. That's my combo with that. And my last card in my deck is Cypher Dragon, which I added. Cypher Dragon deals with cards. I can take my opponent's monster by detaching one and pretty much attack directly. So this could end the game right here. And also, if he has an XZ monster, I take his monster. He's an XZ monster, and I can overlay his XZ monster, overlay my stuff on top of his monster now, because his monster is now Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon. And so I can just pretty much keep his monster right there. So that's my tech in my deck. That's all for Blue Eyes.